day one in Chamonix, and just got up, had some food, just got up around 6. We're going out early today, so we're leaving in 10 minutes. But this is our view from the chalet we're staying. It's a lovely way to start the morning, having a coffee, looking at that.
Oh, like Ian's here, so we're alright. Well, that's not, look, one year we told you we wouldn't get up early. This time told me to fuck off.
In a nice way.
Yeah.
With love, like you.
Yeah.
I said to Ian that I'm on holiday and I'm setting my alarm.
So welcome to Chamonix day one. We did 2 hikes over this period and then also the vertical K. So I'm going to take you through what we did each day. So day one, we just spent doing a slightly longer walk, but it was a little bit more open. Day 2, we went up into the mountains, did a bit more climbing. So they're very different days. So once we got off that initial kind of track bit out in the open, we began this kind of ascent part, which got pretty steep straight away. We were working our way through a kind of woodland area, but it was all pretty much uphill. Pretty easy to walk over, all apart from the fact that you are going uphill constantly. So that was slightly challenging. But there's Mark up ahead on the left. He is our guide for the day. So he was very experienced in the mountains in general, but also had a really good understanding of the Alps, the Chamonix area in general. Plus, he brought his dog called Pickle, who was a cross between a Labrador and a Golden Retriever. He doesn't normally come on his hikes, however, his wife was away, so we had the pleasant company of Mark and Pickle for the day.
Now.
Yeah. Hey? Don't know. So day one, we're out in the mountains for about 8 hours. As you can see, started off in the woods, then as we came up and out, we're now in the sun, heading up pretty continuously for the last 2 hours, and this is what we are dealing with.
That's this way, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
Oh,
Hold the Cossacks over there, look.
Okay.
We're going that way, so.
Oh. Are you going this way?
Not that way, this way.
Or are you going up
You
the
can actually, if you wanted to, you can follow this round. You don't have to go over the top, you can follow this round here.
That is where we're going up to next, just to get to the top, but we are. This is our little lunch stop. So we came from all the way down the valley, along, round, up to here. Lunch with a view. So plan for the rest of the day is to keep going, another 4 hours of hiking or so. We're going to have a little coffee stop in a minute. and hike back down the valley to Chamonix again.
Oh no, you've got it full of you.
So that was a little pickle portion for the day. Once we'd done, once we kind of had lunch, we'd walked up to that point, probably about 2.5 hours, stopped for 20, 30 minutes, and then we're on our way again. So we were aiming to descend down this section now. There's a little cafe at the bottom, so plan was grab coffee there, grab a cold drink, and then crack on to the next bit. The next bit being the section or the hill in front of us as we go down. That bit has the French-Swiss border on it, so that was our aim, to go up to that and then to come all the way back down through the valley into Chamonix, and then get back on the train where we had started from. So that was the rest of the plan for the day. As you can see, the terrain underfoot is pretty easy to walk on. There's nothing that's particularly technical, so it's not like we were climbing. It's all very trekkable. There's only a few sections on this day, one which is coming up, which is a tiny bit more tricky, and if anything, you just need to be a bit more aware of your footing. But apart from that, it was all pretty easy to walk along the whole day. The only hard bit was the fact that, a lot of it you are going uphill for long sections of time, so it's pretty tiring. But as long as you've got water, as long as you've got food, and you're willing to push yourself up a hill, then there's not really too many difficult parts. But yeah, if you look around, it was like walking through a postcard most of the time. The scenery was just absolutely amazing, and the video is never going to do it justice. It was breathtaking at times, and you'd kind of be trudging along, and then suddenly you'd look up and you'd just be like, oh shit, actually this is amazing that we're doing this. So really, really kind of nice first day. Had some great views. We could look all the way down the valley. Obviously everywhere you go you see Mont Blanc.
Tom, where did you put these?
Hey?
We are friendly. Oh, the little cow. Oh my gosh, look! Ian! Veal down. Oh, sweet one.
The bambino.
It's come from all the way there. Then we're heading up here now onto the Swiss side, and then back down through the valley into Chamonix. So we're going up, brief stop in Switzerland, back down, home in time for tea in France. So after that brief kind of stop at that restaurant, which was just back there, we had a coffee or a cold drink, and then we carried on up towards the Swiss border. This kind of section was pretty easy. It definitely gets a little bit tougher further on, or on the next clip, as you see. But it was a beautiful day, about 25, 26 degrees, although a little bit higher. You had the wind as well, so that kept you nice and cool. But yeah, all in all, great walking weather. How are you finding this? On the road to Switzerland.
Yeah. We're to Switzerland, guys. Half and half.
Oh no, only eat French sandwiches.
Half and half. You can pick up whatever you want. It can be the French or Swiss.
Switzerland.
My famous picture again. One leg here, one leg there. It's a France, this is Switzerland.
And this is France.
Yeah.
So that was literally it. That little stone in the floor was the border between France and Switzerland. I'm not sure exactly what I expected. Maybe something a little bit of a harder border than that. But I guess there'd be no point putting up walls or gates or anything when if you had that much intent to cross the border, you could just go up and over a mountain, couldn't you? So it probably would be pretty pointless anyway. But as you could probably hear on that last section, it was pretty tough coming up. We were probably going up that particular steep incline for about 25 to 30 minutes before we got to the top. Then once at the top, we had a few pictures, had a look around, little 5-minute stop to recover, and then it was back down into the next section. We were kind of on similar paths to begin with that we've been travelling on for most of the day. And then as we got down past the ski lift, we began winding down into a bit more of a dirt track, which is shown in the next bit here. Yeah. And they're coming. So once we're on this section of path, it was pretty much this all the way back down to the local town now. And yeah, it was pretty easy walking from here. Nothing too crazy. Always nice to be going downhill after a pretty full-on day. But it's always surprising at how quick it is going down compared to the amount of time it takes going up. It seemed like in no time at all we were back down, kind of midway down the valley, and then we just continued on this path all the way down. You can see there's some of the cable cars which are still in use for people who are trekking in the local areas that are working up and down, but we decided to take the slightly more scenic route. You can see there's a bit of fencing on the left hand side that is up, or has been put up by a local farmer who's keeping his sheep in that area, and there are a couple of dogs who were kind of like guardian dogs, so looking after the sheep, that gave Pickle a little bit of grief, but he didn't seem too fazed by it.
What's this for then? Sorry.
Hit a bit on.
We've got another incline.
Back to civilization. Well,
Need a glass of wine.
sweetheart.
crisp glass of soggy beer.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, once we had got to the bottom, we actually found a little stream to put our feet in and wash away the grime for the day. I actually went all the way in, which was absolutely freezing. If you think about the water that is coming off the mountain, most of it would have been melted from a glacier. So although it was a very warm day, it was absolutely freezing once I got into that stream. But it was lovely and refreshing after having been trekking for 8 hours. Washed a bit of the kind of suntan lotion and all the dirt off. So that was good. It felt quite fresh, and then we finished up coming down a bit of kind of a forest path and then into this local town that we'd set off from. So all the way back down to the train station now. We luckily got there just as the train was pulling in. So it was a very quick goodbye to Mark, and then we were, straight on the train back to Chamonix to, enjoy the rest of our evening.